Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And once again, we're going to be taking a look at Fairy Tail with volume 27 from Hiro Mashima, which is the continuation of the Sirius Island arc and the battle against Grimoire Heart. And holy crap, dude, I had mentioned that volume 25 probably had some crazy ass reveals, the most crazy ass reveals we've seen thus far with Zareth and, Grimoire Heart and just all sorts of chaos. But in the last volume, we learned that Master Hades is actually Master Precht, the second master of Fairy Tail, who handed down the title of master to Makarov 48 years ago. And of course, he's going down the path of darkness now because he's found darkness is the true essence of magic power and, his evil villain plot. And we also saw this panel where we saw a hooded Loxus. I think he's on the island, but it really hasn't been determined because it's only been a few panels. And he said, right after Makarov got attacked by Hades, what's this unsettling feeling I have? So, I don't know, man. I think Loxus is going to appear on the island and help save the day. That's just my prediction, and most likely going to happen, because why else would you show him? But so many great reveals. The Seven Kin of Purgatory unleashed all their forces. Natsu was the only one who was able to prevail. He defeated Zancro, who was actually a fire god slayer. And of course, Natsu the fire dragon slayer. And he absorbed it to become the fire dragon god slayer to defeat Zancro. And then everyone else was getting defeated. We had, Ozma was the first to make it to the island, and he defeated Wendy and Mest and Panterley and all them. And then he took on Lasana and Mirajane and wiped the four of them. So he's probably the most powerful of the group. Then we saw Merity approach Juvia and Urza, but they didn't really begin their battle. And then Caprico approached Lucy, Kana, Loki, and Gray. And Ultier made her way over to Zareth and actually found Zareth. So this one, again, a lot of great battles and action and more backstory of Lucy, which, again, my favorite girl. And you can tell based on the cover here who the characters they want you to notice. So we get some more details about Juvia, Loki, of course, and Lucy and their battle against Caprico. And then Natsu. And then you see Happy with this little puppet, which, oh, God, that's great. When do you get to that? So let's get right into this. Fantastic, man. Oh, there's my girlfriend, Lucy, right there in her chibi form. The best. Oh, I forgot to mention this, too. So we learned that Mest is actually undercover working for the council. And after he revealed his dastardly plan, Ozma heard him and fired one blast and destroyed the ship out there, which I guess there's another ship, because we see Lahar, who is part of the Custody Enforcement Agency, and he was the one who arrested Jalal back during the Oration Sace arc. And, oh man, so what are they going to do here? And Mest reveals the fact that we have Fairy Tail, Grimoire Heart, and Zareth all on this island. And what happens is Lahar starts shaking. He's like, we got to tell Grand Doma right now and unleash the Aetherion. We can't hesitate. Unleash the Aetherion, defeat everyone. Even if we have to take Fairy Tail with us, take down Grimoire Heart and Zareth. We can't let them lead this island. And as he says that, Mest, Aetherion? And he thinks of the good times he had over the past few weeks, and especially Wendy, just a young little girl. He can't kill these people. And Lahar says, go, report to HQ. And it cuts over here to Caprico, who's going up against Loki, Gray, Lucy, and Kana, after he revealed the plot about the great magic world essentially killing all the non-magic users. And they said that 90% of the people on Earth wield no magic, so that's a whole lot of people. And they're ready to do battle, and Loki says, run away, because he uses this type of magic called human subordination magic. Of course, it works on humans, but as you know, Loki is a celestial spirit, Leo, and he turns into his celestial spirit form and gets ready to challenge Caprico, where we learn that Caprico is also a celestial spirit known as Capricorn. So he sends the three of them off, Gray, Lucy, and Kana, of course, and they get ready for battle, and then Lucy, come back alive, you have to survive, Loki. And you see his look, that girl, and this epic pose right here. Regulus, King of Light, give me strength, ready to attack. And, with celestial spirit wizards, they wield the celestial spirits, but this guy, being a celestial spirit himself, wields humans as his pawns, and he summons Hero of Rubengard, Sung Zhao Jin. He's out there battling, so he has humans under his contract ready to battle. And during all his endeavors, he's a goat, so he keeps doing that. And they're running off, and he thinks for a minute about the girl. You have to get away. And it cuts to him bowing before this woman here. I only request that you please return to me. You must. It can't be. She's... And then Loki's like, oh, you figured it out. That's why you sent her away. That girl. She's Layla Heartfilia's daughter. She can't be allowed to live. Where is she? Look at his face, man. The veins coming out there. So, should I tell you now? Because we learned in a few chapters. But essentially, Capricorn was contracted to Layla many years ago. And because he was contracted to her, and she died, we know that. She died a few years ago. He is Lucy's spirit. So, because of, like, the celestial spirit laws, he has to obey Lucy. But obviously, he's a bad guy. So, you know, with the celestial spirit laws, it could be possible that Lucy controls him, but we'll see that as it unfolds. So anyway, he's doing whatever it takes to kill Lucy now, so he has to get through Loki, and they're doing battle. And what happens is, this reminds me of like Dragon Ball. He's doing look at this, the human subordination magic, Huma rays, and it's like Captain Ginyu from Dragon Ball. Change now! And you see here, you know, the spirit of the human that's manifesting in Capricorn's body. And what happens right before he does that, Loki gives him the whole might of his Regulus fist there. And, you know, the body, his name is Zoldiel, is the human that was in the body of Capricorn, is now in the body of Loki, and Loki is in the body of Capricorn. And we get a little scene of Lucy running away, and he's like, oh, I gotta kill Lucy, all right. So what happens is, that's Loki in Capricorn's body, uses like the Regulus impact, because what happened was, when he did that, he transferred his power into Capricorn's body so that he could prepare for this, which is what happened. And he says Zoldiel, you know, saying his real name, which causes Zoldio to come out of his body and to be a human, and then Capricorn is back to the celestial spirit form, and it's just, you know, happy-go-lucky. So we get the revelation that, you know, when Layla Heartfilia, Lucy's mother, retired from being a celestial spirit, she had 3 keys, Aquarius, Cancer, both of which belong to Lucy, and Capricorn, which she entrusted to this guy, which I don't know why you would trust this guy. Just look at him. I mean, seriously, look at this dude. So she gave the key to this dude. I don't know if she thought that was going to end well, but that's what happened. And now that Zoldiel's out of his body, he's like, oh, she's still Lady Layla's daughter, so she trusts her spirits, she trusts you, I trust her, my power belongs to her. So he's going to join Lucy, so that's great. And they're able to contact, because they turn back into the keys and basically just transfer right back to Lucy and reveal that they won the battle. And Gray's freaking out because Loki was his partner in the S-Class tournament. But it's like, dude, there's no time for the tournament anymore. We're being attacked by the Dark Guild. What are you guys thinking? And then Kana has the same thought. She's like, oh, we got to go back to the test. Like, are you guys retarded? You were almost going to get killed by this guy. You can't be worried about that. So anyway, it cuts over to Meredy, who's fighting Urza and Juvia. And she's like summoning these swords here. Magility Sodom! Attacking everybody. And, you know, Juvia has like this water magic where she can turn her body into water. And even these things are piercing her. So despite the fact that she's a little girl, she's very powerful. So Natsu, he was running after Ultir at the end of the last volume. And look at this goof. He's walking and... This fucking guy. He's going down this hill, right? And as he's going down the hill, look at his face. He's got the motion sickness going down the freaking hill. But he does find Zeref, and he smells Ultir, which he thinks is that weird guy from Galuna Island. So he says, oh, what are you cross-dressing for? Which, I don't think she's cross-dressing, Natsu, unless she had some surgery done. But Ultir is pretty hot, I do have to say. I mean, pretty much every chick in this series is hot. Aside from, like, well, Master Bob, he's a dude, right? But aside from I can't even tell you. All the chicks are hot, so even Ultir, even the villain. But look at her. She's very powerful, too. She's got the time magic where she can reverse time, flash forward, and Natsu doesn't stand a chance. But, what happened to Rusty Rose? Because I thought he killed these, not killed them, but beat them so badly that they wouldn't be able to survive. But they're making their way back to camp. He's got like a blade in his, look at him. Holy crap, Elfman. He's a real man. And then you have the camp here with Levi and Lasana, who Lasana survived, and Mira survived as well. And then Gajiel's there. So everyone's all out of commission here. I mean, holy crap, dude. They're getting their asses kicked. We really just have like Natsu, Urza, Gray, a few of the others, Lucy, Kana. God damn. So, yeah, these two, Kana is talking about the freaking S-Class test, which they have to find Mavis Vermillion's grave. And Lucy's sort of solving the riddle. And what happens is Kana puts Lucy to sleep. Which, are you crazy, girl? We're in the middle of a battle here. You're going to put Lucy to sleep and just hide her in the bushes? Which is what happens. And then this fucker shows up. Kane Hickory, I think his name was. It looks like Moscow from Eden Zero. And he finds Lucy. He, like, look at how Lucy's dressed, kid. He just finds her. Look at his face. So anyway, he's there ready to take on Lucy. And he's getting ready to attack her. Like, stomp on her. And then she wakes up. Like, who are you? Where's Kana? Look at his face. You'll die right here. He's like so weird. He's like stuttering, a complete mess. Look at him hiding this. I'm King Hickory of the 7 Kin of Purgatory. I'm really strong. Like, I don't really think he's strong, but we'll see. So Lucy's ready to battle, and he pulls out this doll, right? Remember, Happy has the doll. You're going to love that. So it's called the Curse Doll. It's like a voodoo doll, essentially. And he asks Lucy for one of her hairs. And he's like, no, weirdo, I'm not going to give you a hair. And he basically tells her what the doll does. If he has a hair, it's a voodoo doll, and, you know, he can attack Lucy by attacking the doll. And Lucy grabs one of his hairs and puts it on the doll, like beating the crap out of him. Why the hell would you tell Lucy your plan? So Lucy's beating the crap out of him, just manipulating the doll. And similar to how Moscow, when he runs out, he says, Moskoy, Moskoy. Again, Doskoy, Doskoy. So this is literally Fairy Tail's version of Moscow. And sends out Tauros to fight, which doesn't really do much. Sagittarius again, and he's like impervious to pain, really. Even Scorpio, and he's just doing Doskoy, Doskoy, Doskoy. And with one hit there, her whole shirt's ripped off. And so basically gets one of Lucy's hairs, but then Natsu saves the day. Well, inadvertently, because he's attacking Ultir, and they just happen to be in the same direction. And Ultir's scolding Kane, like saying, like, what are you doing here, Kane, you fool? Oh, Ultir, son. So the two of them are ready for battle. I love this scene right here. We'll reform our team, yeah. It seems like it's been a long time since it was just us teaming up. Reminds you when we first met. Ha ha ha! I'm all fired up. And look at this. Let's go, Lucy. Let's go, Natsu. Aye! Oh my god, I love that picture right there. It's so cute. So the two of them are ready to team up to face Ultir and Kane. So like I said, you know, this guy, he got one of Lucy's hairs in the midst of that. So he has that now. And having Lucy do like a little dance, shaking her ass. You know, Happy's doing his commentary. And Natsu's trying to stop it. And then Happy swoops in and grabs the doll. With him doing like his Doskoy powers. And Natsu gets trapped underneath all this rubble here. And Lucy's trying her best. She's trying to like summon one more spirit, but it's not really working because she's all out of magic power. And this guy's beating the shit out of Lucy. Again, similar to like Dragon Ball. This reminds me of the scene with Sopovich versus Videl in the tournament arc during the Majin Buu saga. Beating the crap out of this poor girl. And, you know, Lucy's like, Natsu says, run away, Lucy, because he's stronger than you. She's like, no, I don't want to leave you, Natsu. I love it when we're together. So, for all those Nalu shippers, which I'm leaning towards that direction at this point. But he's, like, ready to kill her. And what happens is they manage to get the doll here. Natsu manages to get it. And he's from Happy. And he's controlling Lucy now with the doll, making her more powerful. And he decides to use his fire magic to you know, put fire on Lucy's arm. And does the ultimate attack here. Lucy, fire! Holy crap, dude. That's awesome. So Lucy was able to overcome and save the day. And, oh, it's great. Look at Hi, sir. Look at Happy. So they rescue everybody. Oh, yeah, you were great out there, Lucy. So this must have been a great color spread here. If everyone... After their battle, so Lucy and Natsu defeated Kane. Again, we have Juvia and Urza fighting Merity. Gray, I don't know where Gray is right now. Kana, she's looking for the grave. The Exceeds and Wendy, and then all of the 7 kin over here. Well, the few that are left. Rusty Rose, Merity, Ultir, Ozma, Hades, and then, of course, Zareth. And I gotta say, like, despite all the dark tones that we had, like, in the last volume with all the crazy stuff, I did appreciate this chapter here, Goofy going against Kane and stuff, and having Lucy take action. I thought that was great. So, it was cute, man. So Natsu reveals to the fact that, Makarov is been injured and Wendy's magic isn't working. So we gotta stop Grimoire Heart and rescue the Master before it's all over. So again, Kana is ready, going after, the grave, and just thinking like, oh, what's going on here? And then as Grave's walking, he's thinking too, like, I got separated from the group. What the hell's going on? She must have been off the drinking. He thinks that Kana's acting weird because she hasn't been drinking any booze since they've been on the island. Then he comes across Ultir walking away with Zareth. And he sees her, and he thinks that she looks like Or. Which, you can sort of see the resemblance. Gray kind of looks like Or, doesn't he? Like the same hairdo, different eyes, I guess. But, yeah, Ultir sort of looks like Or. And then we have Hades cackling away in his ship with this figure. And he's like, oh, it's time for me to go out there. And Hades, he calls him Blue Note. It's not your battle, Blue Note. And as Blue Note's walking away, like just his movement on the ship is causing it to go into the ground, showing how powerful he is. Will you stop it? If we sink the ship, they won't find it. So Hades wants the ship high in the sky so they will come to him. Because obviously, you saw how he battled Makarov. He can defeat all the kids from Fairy Tail. So Blue Note wants to go out there and battle, and Hades like, no, the 7 kin are out there. Let's see what happens with them. If more of them get defeated, because he knows that a few of them have been defeated already. He knows that Zonkro and Kane have been defeated. And he says, if one more is defeated, you can go out there. And then, as they mentioned Blue Note, over on the council, they're talking about, Blue Note Stinger? He took out Lieutenant Colonel Godra Blue's Dragon Corps all by himself. So Blue Note Stinger, the sub-commander of Grimoire Heart, apparently. And these guys know all about it. And then Lahar, they still haven't contacted Grand Doma. Lahar's like, we got to call Grand Doma right now and get the permission to use a Therion. And Mess says, no. Just give me a little time. And he decides to take the communication lacrima. He disappears with it. That's when he has like teleportation magic. So he disappears with it and appears. And we learn too that Mess's real name is Doranbolt, by the way. So he appears right before Natsu, Lucy, Wendy, and all the Exceeds. And basically says, they're ready to fire a Therion. What are you guys going to do? And Natsu says, this is our battle. You leave the island. The council shouldn't worry about it. This is our island. This is our sacred ground, the burial ground of our first master. We were just minding our business. We'll deal with Grimoire Heart. And Doranbolt says, you can't defeat the Grimoire Heart. You can't defeat Zareth. How dare you go against the council? And they're having this standoff here. But they mean business. And now the storm is brewing in the sky. And Juvia is getting her ass beat by Merity here, who's like able to summon these swords and whatnot. You have Urza going to her sword magic. And then as she's battling Juvia, Urza says, why aim at Juvia? Because number 13 is simply trash. It must be cleaned up first. And then, again, what's with the villains always revealing their plans? But she says, with her list of priority, I guess, number 3 is Guild Arts. However, it seems he's no longer on the island. Number 2 is Makarov. However, I believe Hades-sama took care of him. You're saying Master is only number 2? Who's above the Master? And she says number 1 is Gray. Gray Fullbuster. And they're like, what the hell, Gray? He's the man who made Ultir sad. The man who hurt my Ultir. So what is her connection to Ultir? And based on the fact that Gray recognized Ultir as, looking like Or, it's safe to say that Ultir is Or's daughter? So at the mention of Gray-sama's name, Juvia arises from the sea. Who are you talking about exactly? Look at her. And she's ready to battle Merity for, maybe she thinks Gray's love, but just for Gray to live, really. So actually said, this is Juvia's true power because she loves Gray so much, she's able to harness even more power. And she says, Urza, go look for Gray-sama, look for Wendy-sama, or Wendy-san. What's like the difference? Like, she calls Gray Gray-sama and Wendy. So Gray-sama, that's above Wendy-san, I guess. Because Gray is like her, she's simping for him, all right. So Rusty Rose finds Azuma, and Azuma is just like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, don't underestimate Fairy Tail. They're very strong, but they need something to fight for. What is it? And he says their weapon isn't magic. It's the power to forge their faith into sword, the power of friendship. I know everyone hates that, but hey, dude, I love the series. I can't tell you how much I love it. So, Merity and Juvia are continuing their battle. And what happened was, she uses this magic here, Sense Link, right? She connects Juvia to Gray using this magic. And with that, any type of pain Juvia feels, Gray also feels. But just knowing this, Juvia is like marking out, Gray, Juvia and Gray-sama become one. Look at her in the heat of the battle. But any pain that Juvia feels, Gray feels as well. And she's getting really pissed off by that because it's like, how dare you harm my Grace? And you see Gray over here, who's trying to be sneaky. He's right by Altair, who has Zareth, trying to be sneaky. And he's just screaming in pain. So what happens here now is Merity decides to connect herself. And essentially, if Juvia dies, Gray dies. If Merity dies, Gray dies. But also Juvia dies as well. So whoever dies takes the other two with them. I mean, holy crap, talk about a suicide mission. And Juvia is saying, like, why would you do that? I mean, you'd kill yourself? I mean, what's going on here? And Juvia, she's ready to kill herself. Merity is got these blades here, ready to kill herself to take out both Juvia and Gray. And Juvia's like, you can't do that. And what happens is Juvia attacks herself, sort of making Merity, right in the leg, making Merity slip up and drop those swords. And you get some really great dialogue here. There's another path. All three can live. Even when we defeat an enemy, fairy tale wizards don't go so far as to take a life. You're being so naive. I have to kill Gray for Altair's sake. I'll never let you. I'll make sure you can't fight anymore. And then we get a flashback to young Merity at this village that was destroyed, and we see Altair comforting her, the little girl crying, with Cain and Zancro. And this is the reveal of Or being Altair's mother. And I guess her name was Ortir. That's why Merity called her Ortir, and she changed her name to Altair, and, you know, they have a little heart-to-heart about how she's always sad because her mother died, and you know, she's like taking Merity in as her daughter. So, you sort of feel a little sympathy, especially for Merity. And even still, some for Altair, despite seeing the bad things she's done. I mean, you see some humility in that. And then Juvia embraces her and hugs her. And the two of them start crying. And, you know, Juvia says, you have to live. You have to love someone. I know you love someone. I love someone too. Because Juvia, being connected here, they could all sort of feel each other's thoughts and feelings. And Juvia felt that Merity loves Altair, just like Juvia loves Gray. And just really a heartfelt moment here. I mean, Juvia crying, just live for the one you love. That's what you must do. And even Merity starts crying, and she gets rid of the sense link, and basically everyone drops down because they were all getting their asses kicked. But I don't know, I feel bad for this little girl because she's just a kid and she really doesn't know better. She was rescued by villains, so she was brought up a villain, but she's not a villain, maybe. I don't think so. So Gray confronts Altair and basically spills the beans. You know, she's Or's daughter. I've always wanted to meet you. I'm on your side. Uh-oh. So goddamn, this was great, man. This was so good. Oh, the Plu test. You know, when I read this, I'm going to pause this right now and find out which Plu I am. Hold on. Okay, so by doing this convoluted equation here, you have to spell out your name, right? And then coordinate them with letters and basically add up, numbers. Add up all the numbers, and then the last digit is the Plu you are, and the last digit for me was 0. So I am the dancing Plu. Let's see. You are a Plu who knows to dance. When Lucy summons you, you can ease everyone's tension with your fancy footwork. Oh, goddamn, I'll be dancing for my girl Lucy? Oh, I'm doing that anyway. But another fantastic volume. I liked the tonal shifts. I know it may seem kind of out of place, but you had a bunch of different tones. You had some dark tones in the beginning here with Loki versus Zoldio in the form of Capricorn, and some more backstory about Lucy and her mother. Then we had a fun battle with Lucy against Cain, with Natsu and Happy helping, of course, and that was cute. And then, like, reading this about Merity and Juvia, man, this is some emotional shit. And I really do feel bad for Meredy, and I hope Meredy can seek a path of redemption here, because she was just a young girl raised by villains. I mean, what more does she know? And she does love someone. She loves Ultier, just like Juvia loves Gray, so we'll see what happens there. But it ended with Ultier confronting Gray, spilling the beans that, she's Or's daughter, and who knows where that's going to go. But fantastic, guys. Let me know your thought in the comments down below, and I can't wait to see what happens next with the battle against Grimoire Heart, because more of the Seven Kin have been defeated. So all that's left, really, we have Rusty Rose, we have Ozma, we have Ultier, Hades, and then there's also Blue Note Stinger, which, shit, we'll probably see him in the next volume, right? So thanks, everybody. Let me know your thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon.